Hello, this is Janice Seagraves. My apologies for not doing one of these in a while, but I got a terrible cold and I literally lost my voice. I was down to whispers. If you saw my last video, I was trying to tell kind of a funny story about my family growing up, and my voice is very, very hoarse. Well, anyway, I wanted to show you some ways of printing out your story, and then you can get another look at it, and it'll help you catch some errors when you're doing your writing and you have a book that's finished and you're trying to get it revised. So just give me a minute and we'll be right at it. This is one of my stories, and I print them out after I'm done with the revising on Microsoft Word, and then I print it out so I can see it in a different light, and then I also give it over to my husband. He's my first eyes, and he's wrote most of the notes on here, and then I go over it and I put things in, and then I check it out and see what I can see. This one is a published work. It's called You're the Cat. This is the second half of it, because the first half was originally published as a short story in an anthology, and I put both of them together. This story is just one of many that just wouldn't leave, so I had to keep writing on it. I'm going to see. I can read down to this part where there's a little change. Jared stretched out, relishing the feel of the sun on his feline body. Jared is a werecat. The 5 days' travel to arrive at his mate's home were long, cold ones. If only the bird would stop pecking at... Did I say that right? If the bird would stop pecking at the glass, then he could truly relax. A familiar meow brought him to full wakefulness. He turned and fell off the window ledge. Rearing up, he peered at the brown and black calico staring back at him. "Och, cat, what do you want?" Please forgive me. My Scottish accent needs a lot of work. She jerked her head toward the door for him to allow her. You see the 2 and the little star? Because it needed to have a 2 there, and the star means that I put that change in. She jerked her head toward the door for him to allow her to come inside. He stared at her a long moment, wishing with all his heart that she'd just go away. "Ah, still there. I'll be out in a minute." Debating about making his adopted sister wait, he decided not to. In her impatience, she'd probably shred something vital to the house with her claws. He dashed out the back pet door, climbed the fence, and joined her at the front of the house. Oh, can you see that really well? She met him nose to nose and rubbed against his side. "Oh, Jared, it is so nice to see you again." He stiffened and switched his cell back and forth. "I wish I could say the same." Her slanted yellow eyes widened. "You're not glad to see me? Yeah, no, I'm done with the clan and you." So that was page 1. And this is page down. Let me just read down to this part. Oh, dear. This part where there's more changes that my husband wrote in here. Now this is when his sister is trying to get him to come meet him, and he's telling him. He sat on the cold cement and walked and flicked his tail. "I cannot." "Why not?" "I do not have me clothes. I came away from the clan empty-handed. Do you kin?" He wasn't about to let her inside, no telling what kind of mischief she's likely to get into. "My maid is due any moment. She said she'd buy me something to wear." "Once she's home, can you meet me at the park?" "Aye, but I'm not familiar enough with this town to know where the park is." "It's straight down the road. You see the it's, because I've had just it, and it's it apostrophe s is just short for it is. It's straight down the road." She glanced behind her. "I see you later." And it's not "I see you later." The change that my husband suggested was "I'll" or "I will see you later." And I put the stars to indicate that I did put those changes in. She nodded and trotted in the direction she indicated. He waited to make sure she was gone. Once inside, he turned back to his human form and pulled on the bright pink stretched out shorts. And now I wrote his, but my husband suggested he'd or he had or he, found in Morgan's closet. It's the only item he could find to fit him, or would fit him. So anyway, that's a little bit of that one. I'm not going to read you the whole And this is Year the Cat. Can you see that really good there? Okay, I'm going to go to the next one. Now this one is Matrix Crystal River, and it is published. You can find both these on Amazon. And this is a little note my husband left, because he's so sweet. I finished. What a great story. I would have done more work, but I couldn't put it down. Love, Dave. My husband's name, Dave. Okay, so I'm not sure if he put a lot of changes in here. I kind of doubt it, because he got a little enthralled with the story. Let's see. That's the first page. There's no changes there. And let's see. Doesn't look like there's any changes there. Sometimes what we do is we'll notch our earmark, our dog ear, there we go, dog ear, a page so we can find it again later. Let's see, there's nothing there, nothing there. Yeah, there's gotta be something. Oh, here we go. On this page, let me hold it up so you can see it a little bit better. As he charged toward his parents' quarters, humans dodged out of the way. Now this is on Another Planet, science fiction. His adopted brother, Ori, stepped out from the door holding a box. Light bounced over his gold blonde hair as he looked up. River? I didn't know you were back. And my husband did a change over here, but then he wrote okay, so apparently he read it again and realized it was okay. And then he put by here, which I'm... Oh, out by the back entrance. Okay. So so he wrote that change in there too. And we'll move down a little bit. This is about his mom. Mom! He rushed out and embraced her. She felt smaller in his arms. Her hair had faded from the glorious red he recalled from Earth to a more of an apricot color. She pulled back from the hug and cupped the side of his face. When I saw you just now, I thought I had looked, but he suggested saw your father, so I took out this too. But he's behind me. This is the point where I had decided to make sure his father was still living, and so I just changed this part. Greetings, son. Dad stepped around the wagon to give him a bear hug and pounded him on the back. Glad you're home. You have to tell me all about your adventures. Once he caught his breath, he grinned. Same old man. Good to see you too, Dad. I'll be glad to. Where are you and Mom moving to? Because they're having to move out of the ambassador suite. To Mama Rosa's, of course, Vouch said. She's not doing well, poor dear. Maya took the box from Ori's arms and set it on the back of the wagon. We don't think she's going to be with us much longer. His heart sank at the news. I've been gone for 5 years now, this. Not Mama Rosa. Okay, I'm going to go see if there's something. Oh, yeah, I did mark them. Okay. Now, I had brunette spelled wrong, so you put that in there. And then, let's see. I had Mama, but my husband changed it, or suggested I change it to Mother. And then down here is, okay, he just noticed that it was, he made a mistake there. They had a bit of a row. I use a little bit of British slang sometimes when it's like alien, on another planet, or aliens from another planet, just because the vernaculars are a little bit different, so it doesn't sound so American, because I'm American, if you didn't know before. Anyway, let's see, what else do I have here? And here's another change wave. Oh, here we go. Oh, here's some bigger ones. Okay, now I ended up changing this person's name because it sounded too much like their horses that they have over there, which are named Shirikis. And that's something I made up. So, being a writer, you get to make up stuff. Ah, that's just like the Japanese. Okay, after changing her shoes, she followed him in and stared at the dining table. Oh, I'm sorry. And I came in too early, and my husband decided that I should have wrote, I've come too early. And then when we go down here, this is shade, Shayla, Shay, which are all the same names for Shayla, but I changed her name. I think it would be better to keep her name as Shayla or Shay. And because I went through my critique group, they thought that Shayla or Shay, I have that Shay there, was too close to the Shireki, so yeah, I changed it. And I decided to name, what did I name her? I can't think of it. It was Reba. I changed her name to Reba because, you know, I like this Reba show. But, so she's named after Reba. Anyway, I put it not bad, but it's supposed to be it. So my husband suggested that. Shay clasped her hands on the table, or Reba, because I changed her name. I thought it was fun and romantic, and my husband suggested I put tale or story. The sentence is incomplete, which is very important to know that, and I think I did do that. I think I added story or tale. And then, let's see, that was it for that one. Here's some more. And then down here, with a flick of a finger, no, wait a minute, that was down here. She used two fingers to spread and then part. I think she was working on a computer, so I was trying to describe how she was making her hand kind of open and close to make something appear on the screen. Okay, so that's what I was going to show you on this story. And you can find it on Amazon if you're interested. And then this one's Alien Heart. You see that? Alien Heart. And this one's also published. I'm going to have to republish it because my publisher is having some health issues, unfortunately, poor thing. Okay, now this is Mix Fix It, the first chapter. A pudgy blonde woman in the studio audience stood and pointed. And here's a little thing I wanted to show you really quick. You know, see blonde, you usually see blonde like that without the E, but when it's a blonde woman, you put an E in there. So that's an interesting thing about our English language, don't you think? And then my husband he put a little question mark right there because he was wondering why I did this. So I dropped this down. A pudgy woman, this is why, let me show you. A pudgy woman in the studio audience stood and pointed. Look, it's the aliens. Audrey Westbury dropped a script she'd been studying off stage. Her mouth fell open. Aliens? Were they here to watch the filming of my show? But the aliens never leave their compound. And then I dropped this down and put until now. That's kind of like a comic beat or a dramatic beat. Until now. Da, da, da. Anyway, so I dropped that down. The three aliens are, and then my husband suggested I wrote, these aliens are called Archons. Members of the first recognized extraterrestrials to take residence on our small planet. They didn't seem too impressive from this distance, but when they sat down, they turned their ruby-colored gazes toward Audrey. She gulped. How can they spot me way over here? Well, anyway, that's the first page of that. And here's some more changes that my husband. I was writing this. The plans are available on the website. This is her Miss Fix It show. and I just wrote .missfixit.com, and my husband's asking, can't use www period plus period coms, and I think I told him no, not really, because when people write this out and they don't want to use all that, the actual website, they will write dot. So anyway, I put that there just like they do when they leave a comment someplace. Pick up a pair of plastic goggles. She showed them to the camera, safety glasses, and she slipped them on. This has to do with, she was talking. She smiled at her smile disappeared as her expression turned serious. Remember to read to understand all the safety rules to your power tools. They can be nothing more important than wearing these. And she's picking up a pair of plastic goggles. She showed them to the camera. Safety glasses, and she slipped them on. And then my husband said, same here, glasses, goggles are different. Okay. My husband works where he has to wear safety goggles, so he understood that. Audrey sat at the dining table while the makeup girl, Kendra, helped her remove I put thick, and he wrote no. You didn't want me to use thick there, I guess. Camera makeup. And then, good show, everyone. Derek, the director, walked through the dressing room. So, Audrey, let's see if you can see that a little bit better. So, Audrey, how are you going to spend your summer hiatus? Tall, dark hair with hazel eyes, and oh, so married. He leaned on her chair and looked into the mirror at Audrey. And for some reason, he wrote "damn" there. I have no idea why. And then, hi, Derek. Kendra made eyes at him again. Audrey frowned at her. If his wife ever saw her do that, she'd go ballistic. And then my husband wrote this, and slap her around, I bet. And then he put down here, ouch, because this is where she found out her son was going to go to summer vacation instead of spending the summer with her, and I wrote, ouch. Derek pulled down the corners of his mouth, and then my husband wrote this little face. So that was cute. And anyway, then this bottom part, this is introducing another character. And this is the dressing room where our star puts on her makeup for the camera. Fox wannabe, Audrey's agent, was nattily dressed. His straight black hair and midnight eyes marked him as pure Native American. He seemed to be acting as tour guide for the ancient aliens. And then my husband wrote, how about a hand poking in the room before he talks? That way it's not quite so sudden, I guess. And my husband wrote random person alert, because I didn't do enough of an intro for him, I guess. But my husband's actually pretty good at this. A cameraman entered the dressing room ahead of the aliens, walking backwards as he snapped pictures. Audrey frowned. God, what's Fox doing now? The aliens look like elves, Derek murmured under his breath. Yeah, they do. Audrey noticed their pointed ears and long faces. They could have played extras on the Lord of the Rings movies. And then my husband wrote, yeah, kick Orlando's for a loop. Orlando Bloom. Anyway, then there's another one down here. Maybe I shouldn't read that one. A little sexy. I might get in trouble for that one. Here's one that's it's a little interesting. This is when they go out to a restaurant. She ends up dating all three of the aliens, and no, she doesn't get all three of them. She gets two of them. And this is where Paz was explaining that he's a vegetarian. Do they have anything without meat? Paz flipped through the menu. Try the eggplant parmigiana, but asked for it without sausage. She scanned down the list, trying to find something else. Or do you want something without cheese? Cheese is okay. I'm not that strict of a vegan. And my husband wrote vegetarian. I actually wrote vegan because I couldn't think of how to spell vegetarian. So it was just kind of a little shortcut, which sometimes you shouldn't do. And see, I wrote vegan again, or vegan. And then, let's see, was there anything else? Oh darn, I can't really find anything else. Now, this is just the way I do it, and I don't do it all the time, but I just thought you might get a kick out of how I do my revisions, and this is just part of the process. I also take my stories through a critique group, and they go through it. I actually have 2 critique group now, and that might be slightly overkill, but it's really helping me with my writing. And so anyway, I heartily suggest going with a critique group or 2, and then you can get your another set of eyes, and hopefully 2 or 3 sets of eyes on your work, and then they can help you with the revisions, because This writing, when you first write, it's only you and the computer or the paper, however you tend to do it. But after you do that is when you need to get more eyes on it, because when you read your work, you tend to gloss over the errors, the mistakes, and you really do need another set of eyes that can look at your work with fresh, and they're fresh eyes, so they're not going to gloss over your mistakes and your errors. So it's always good to get revision when you're doing revision, to get a critique group, a beta reader. This is actually just the first stage. I'll print things out, go over it, have my husband read it, and he'll find things. But there's stuff that he won't even catch. So sometimes I'll get somebody else to read it, or like I said, the critique group to read it, or a beta reader. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my a little view of my process on my writing. And please like and subscribe, whichever side it's on, and ring that little bell icon. And I will try to do another one next week. Thank you for joining me. Bye.